Okay, so I'm just walking around my man's backyard here, talking about the Savant in Sacramento. Savant is it's a series on Apple Plus that got canceled, or I should say, postponed, just like kind of like Jimmy Kimmel, except it's about a woman who works for something called the Anti-Hate Alliance that goes after white supremacists. And Apple's reasoning, they're not saying anything, seems to be that Charlie Kirk happened, and we don't want to alienate people. But I was thinking about this. Apple's a tech company, and they don't really have a lived history of McCarthyism and what that did to the culture. The sort of sadness and hopelessness that it delivered to the culture. And they would make a decision like this, I think, up in Silicon Valley a lot more quickly than they would in Beverly Hills or in the halls of Burbank and these places where you can actually find people who went through uh, that particular period in history. I guess it bothers me because the racism's so pernicious. I mean, there was a time when, the idea that a story was ripped from the headlines, that it actually had, what's the word, immediate relevance. That would be a selling point, but that's when you were working for an audience of millions, not an audience of one. And that's what's happening right now. It's kind of, there are a lot of Republicans who are going along with this because they have these, really innate feelings, sexual feelings and racial feelings. But, if you'd ask them to sign off on the sort of nationalization of the economy this way, nationalization, is that the right word? I don't know. They would be appalled. But anyway, there's a, later in the newsletter, I'm talking about the Jessica Chastain thing up top, but there's an item in the middle of the newsletter, I'm not sure where, about the things tech people don't say about this moment. And there's a great quote where a guy says that, off the record, they're all saying, I need an exit plan. Where can I get citizenship? And, it's a moment of it's a moment of cowardice, for everyone who's not speaking up. But I think people in the tech sector have as much explaining to do as anyone.